In the previous video, you saw me embark on a journey to find a connection to the sewage in my house. In this video, you'll see me continue that journey and find a lot of answers to pressing questions. So we're back in the basement where I dug up the mystery pipe a couple of days ago. This is the pipe that I'm hoping leads to the sewage that I can hook my toilet and shower and everything up to. I went to the municipality yesterday because I got the form from the notary when I was purchasing the house, saying that the house was hooked up to the sewage, but not stating whether it was hooked up in the right way, or didn't have any information. So I went there asking for more information. Basically, I asked, like, I know it's hooked up, but how do I know if the connection is right, if it's a sufficient connection, whether it meets the standards. They were like, no, that's not up to us to decide. Usually the seller does that. They have a quality control done by a special company. I was like, yeah, it's a bit late now because I'm already the owner. I already bought it. So they gave me the number of the company that does the quality assessment of the sewage. I tried to call them yesterday, but they didn't answer. I don't know what was up. Today's a holiday, so I can't call them. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm hoping this is the good connection, and if it is, I want to renew as much of the pipe as I can, because the joints here, they're all a bit messed up. So I'm gonna remove, well, at least part of that. And I'm gonna throw a couple of buckets of water in here and see what happens. I'll have a smell. Maybe it smells like sewage, which I'm hoping it does. And that's interesting. I didn't ever think I would be hoping to smell sewage, but that would be a good sign. Anyway, I'm gonna throw some water in there, see what happens. I think it's a concrete pipe. And the best way I can think of to remove it is just to drill some holes with this and then smash it to pieces, and then remove it piece by piece until I can dig some space in here and throw a bucket of water in there. So that's what I'm going to start with. I feel a lot of cool air coming through. So I don't know what that should tell me. Don't know whether it's a good idea to be digging in here with my bare hands, since I'm hoping this is sewage. Just should not think about it and wash my hands later. It does seem quite clean though. A bit further up. There we go. It's easiest to film upside down. I'm looking at a pipe. So this was as far as I could go with the visual test. And really, I just looked down a pipe for about a meter, and then it got dark, and I couldn't see anymore. So what I decided to do is throw some buckets of water in there afterwards, which went well. All the water disappeared, and then afterwards, I hooked up a hose to the faucet in the kitchen, ran it through the kitchen and the living room down into the basement, and put the hose into the pipe. So we're back in the basement. We're gonna run a test now that I have running water and the faucet is working. This is the pipe that I'm hoping it's a sewage, and we're gonna put a lot of water in it and see what happens. So the idea behind this test was to see whether the pipe was actually sloping down away from the house instead of sloping upwards at some point, or I don't know, being clogged. And I just wanted to make sure that if I throw water in there, it wouldn't come back into the basement, because you know that might be very inconvenient. Gives off an interesting smell. I think it smells a bit like ammonium. But I'm not sure. So we just ran the test with the hose. I think we had the running for 15 minutes or something, and it all just disappeared into the pipe. So I am guessing that this leads to some sort of a well or a reservoir underground that used to have gray water coming in. But I think I'm gonna hook up the toilet to this so that we can start using a toilet. And I'll call the company on Monday to see if we can make an appointment to have them check whether this is that would be a right connection, because I still don't know whether this is suitable or it fits the norms that the French government sets for connections to the sewage, because you know there's rules for everything here. So that same afternoon, Simon and I started digging a ditch in the basement in order to fit the PVC pipe that we could shove into the remainder of the concrete pipe that was entering the house from under the wall. Digging out the ditch was a real pain because it was very hot and the floor or the ground just consists of rocks and clay, so it's really hard to dig into. And so taking out all of the material that we dug up and making a nice down-sloping ditch took us the rest of the afternoon. And we didn't really have any time anymore to do more of the plumbing, so install the toilet and stuff. So that had to wait. But this morning I woke up and it felt like I had been hit by a rare wave of wisdom, and I suddenly decided that it may not be such a good idea to hook a toilet up to a pipe that leads somewhere that I don't know. It'd be like sending my turds off into a unknown location. Might be the rainwater sewage, maybe some hole underground. I don't know. So I decided to change the toilet idea, or get a temporary solution until I was sure, until I'm sure that I have a sewage that I can actually use. So today we went to a camper store and we went and bought this, which is a porta potty, a chemical toilet. I can empty it a 10-minute drive from here, so it'll do for now. And we'll still construct the toilet space around here, and when I know I have sewage that I can actually use and hook a toilet up to, we'll put the actual toilet here and we'll be able to flush properly. Quite a plot twist there.
Even though I did not dare to connect the toilet drainage to the mystery pipe, I did take the gamble to drain a sink and a shower into the mystery pipe. My reasoning was that if the mystery pipe leads to the rainwater network and therefore to some open water, it wouldn't be such a problem to, at least temporarily, discharge shower water in there. I made sure to use biodegradable soaps that were free of plastics to make sure not to pollute anything. Eventually it turned out to take months to have the actual connection checked. As you can tell by the airy clothing that we're wearing in the video, we installed the PVC piping in July, and the technician that did the checkup of the sewage eventually came by in October. The mystery pipe didn't show on any sewage map, which added to its mysterious status. Therefore the technician had to perform a practical test. This test consisted of throwing a very strong colorant down the sink and turning open the tap, and the next step being to open manhole covers in the street until he'd see the colored water. And I think it was only until the 5th or the 6th manhole cover that he opened that we saw the water running, and this was about 250 meters from my house, so quite a long distance. And this manhole cover was connected to the rainwater network, which made me very happy that I bought the porta potty. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of the technician conducting his tests, but I do have this clarifying image that he put up in the report, and it shows where the rainwater network is and where the sewage water, so the grey water network, is. So to conclude this whole story, it ends up that I need to get a new connection to the actual sewage, which means that the sewage that runs underneath the street in front of my house needs to get a new branch toward my house. So the road needs to be opened up and the new piping has to be dug in. And this is something that the municipality has to do. So I can't have the road opened up myself, obviously. So that's it for part 2 of the sewage journey. In the next video you'll see us install the shower and the sinks and the toilet room thing. That will first put the porta potty and then the actual toilet in. I'll also be making a video about my plans for the house, because although it might sometimes not look like it, I do have an actual plan about how I want to renovate this house and what I want to make out of it. So stay tuned for a new episode and subscribe to my YouTube channel.